Welcome back to 1,000 Hours in Scripture. My name is Dana, and this is day 49. Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. I don't know about where you are, but it's kind of dreary and rainy here. Kind of a gray day, but still a day on God's creation, so that makes it a good one, I guess. Well, I don't guess. I know. It's been a tough week, guys, honestly. I know my last kind of string of videos has been very positive and upbeat, and I don't know if this video is going to be that way. I'm actually feeling kind of down, I guess. There's just been a lot of things happening this week, nothing major, but just kind of those little things that just kind of, set you off your axis a little bit, I guess. So I don't know. We'll see how this video goes. Rather than start with the tracker, I actually thought maybe I would share some of those things. So I really struggle with these videos because I am inherently a very private person. And so me even doing this is weird, as you guys know. But at the same time, as I've mentioned in the past, I know that these videos are like astronomically boring. I just sit here and read numbers. So I'm trying to figure out a good space of, sharing more of me, while still kind of maintaining a little bit of privacy, because although I'm sure anybody could dig up all they wanted on me online, I don't necessarily feel the need to blast everything out there, so I don't know. But I did think maybe today we'll have some, rabbit trails to start off the video, before we get into the tracker. Maybe try and help me figure out how to be a little bit more personable with these videos. But also, I honestly just thought, it has been a really hard week, and we need to share the hard things too. I've been so positive the past few weeks, very excited about my progress, and I'm not right now. And that is happening. So this channel can't just be about all the good times and all the times that I am hitting my goals. It has to be about the tough times too. So if you're watching this, maybe you can pray for me this week for the various issues that I've been struggling with, and I could certainly use it. So yeah. So first thing that I've kind of been struggling with, we unfortunately have a member of our church who has been quite ill lately, and we did receive notice today that they have elected to go on hospice. So that was really hard to hear. I am not super, super close with that particular family. I mean, we're a church family, so our church is pretty small, so inherently, we're all pretty close. But, we're not best friends or anything like that, but still, to know that you're pretty eminently going to lose, someone that you love in your church is rough. This particular church member, their health has been in decline for a very long time now. There's been many times where we actually already thought that we were going to lose them, and then they kind of pulled back and rallied. But I think that this is probably going to be it. So obviously we don't know God's timing. Some people are on hospice for a very long time, some not. So, the hand of God can do anything. But still, it was hard to see that, You hate to lose people that you love in your church. Again, our church is small, and we actually already lost a church member within the last year, and I was pretty close to that family, and that was unexpected. We weren't ready for that one, and that was really difficult. So our little church is, it's hard. It's really hard when you're a small church and you're close, and I mean, even when I guess it's a big church, you hate to see the loss of someone like that, As a Christian, I always struggle because I don't fear death. I know what waits for me in death. I'm not worried about it. I mean, do I want it? I know. I love my life here. But at the same time, I'm not afraid of what waits for me, And of course, the process of dying. Well, yeah, I don't want it to hurt. I'm a human. But, I don't fear death. I don't fear what is coming. So, on one hand, you can't be sad or afraid for this person that's about to pass away. They're about to be at the right hand of God. Oh my goodness, what more could you want? They're going to be walking on streets of gold, and they're finishing their race. They're about to receive their reward. So, our grief here on earth is definitely for what's being left behind. It's not for that person that's gone. It's for the family that they've left behind that now has a hole in their life. It's for the the loss of that wisdom in your church. And, so it's just such a balance of, rejoicing that, a very faithful servant to the Lord is, again, finished his race and receiving their reward, versus, grieving what was here, the hole that they're leaving. So anyway, it's a tough balance. So I have also been very discouraged with my tracker. We'll go over the numbers here in a little bit, but I have lost momentum this week. It has just come to a crashing halt. And that's a bummer. I didn't expect that momentum I had earlier in the month was going to last forever and ever and ever. But man, I fell hard this week. And I didn't expect that as much. I kind of, I expected there to be kind of ups and downs where some weeks would be better. Some, eventually I was going to slow back down. But boy, howdy. I just ran right on into a brick wall with this. So we'll go over those numbers in more detail. But they're just kind of some of the things that they've been weighing on me this week, and it's kind of been a low energy sort of week, I guess. So, if you guys have the inclination, you can be praying for me, that I'll get myself back together, I guess. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into the tracker. So, as always, I have my tracker here, and the tracker's getting kind of big now, so I'll just have to put a couple days worth down here at the bottom for you guys to see. It's bad, guys. I'm like having a hard time even looking at the camera because I don't want to admit this. But accountability, it's a thing. Let's go. So Sunday, we'll just go day by day for the past couple days since my last video, which I guess technically was also Saturday. So Saturday, I guess. You can see we did about half an hour of family worship on Saturday. I did my Bible reading, and that was about it. So I came in under by about an hour on Saturday. But actually, I was still okay with that because I did, two of the big three things to me, which was family worship and Bible reading. No prayer, but those two things. Sunday is where it just really kind of started getting rough. And you may be like, why is that rough? You did almost your whole goal. And that is true, but look at how I did it. On Sunday, I spent 130 minutes in corporate worship. We did our 30 minutes in family worship, and that was it. There was not a prayer to be had. There was absolutely not one chapter of scripture was read. Ugh. It wasn't good, guys. So sure, I wasn't super short on my goal, but that's only because I went to church. So that was rough. And honestly, thinking back, I'm not even sure why it went that way. I cannot tell you why I did not read my Bible on Sunday. I cannot tell you why I was not in prayer on Sunday. I have no idea. I can't tell you what I was doing. I mean, I have a terrible memory. The older I get, I swear, it just brain cells drop out of my ears every day. But yeah, Monday, it gets even worse. Monday, I only read my Bible. And that was it. Yesterday, I tried to claw back from the brink a little bit. So we had some family worship, a few moments of prayer. I did do my Bible reading, and I listened to a little bit of a sermon. So, yeah. It wasn't good, guys. The positives, if there are any here, is that I am still technically caught up on my Bible reading, even though I did miss that one day. I did immediately try to catch up. And even though I have slacked greatly, I am technically still on target for the month. Well, almost. I think I'm 5 minutes under the goal for the month overall. So, yeah. I don't really know what to tell you guys. It's just been rough. So, I'd like to think, I'm going to bounce back today. Today's going to be different. And, hopefully it will be. I've already listened to one sermon today. I'm about halfway through another one. I'm going to try to listen to it while I finish dinner. Making dinner. So, yes, hopefully today I'll be closer to it. I don't know if I'll hit the goal, but, I'll do my Bible reading. Hopefully I'll get there. But I think it's still going to be a struggle the rest of the week. So, how do we move forward? I'm just going to keep pushing, trying to get back into it. I know Friday's going to be hard. I'm actually going out Friday to visit with my aunt and my mom. We love, 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 love to play games. And my aunt right now is kind of living between two different states. She has a house by us and a house in a different state. So right now she's in her house by us. So we're having a game night on Friday so we can play games because we love it. So I know that's going to be a hard day to get on target. So I'm kind of planning that Friday's going to be low and that Saturday I'm just really going to need to push to get a lot of time in. I'm also going to try to get back into the sermons. If I look at my tracker, I'm not going to put a screenshot up for this, but if you look at the tracker, yeah, I didn't do sermons for 3 days. And there was a day or two earlier in the month where it was kind of low on the sermon audio. So I'm going to try to use sermon audio, even though it's not, I've mentioned before, like, it's not my preferred thing. I don't want to just, like, stack my whole day full of sermons and call myself done. It's still very beneficial. I'm learning a ton from the sermon series I'm going through. So yes, I'm going to utilize that and try to kind of get back on track and get back, up to my goals. So I don't know, guys. That's the video. I feel bad. Like, it's not super positive today. Kind of low energy here, but so be it. That's how it goes sometimes, I guess. So like I said, if you are of the praying variety, I would definitely appreciate prayers just for, myself to be consistent with this. Again, I've mentioned before the will versus, what is it? The flesh is willing, the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. Yeah, I'm back in that a little bit, not terribly, but just, I would appreciate prayers that I continue to be very diligent with this and, stick with it. So, I'll share this little story before I go. A little funny, a little funny story to kick us off or to close our video, I guess. So I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I read my 10 chapters every day. I read them out loud because I cannot stay focused if I do not. My mind just wanders. So I always read my chapters out loud, and I'll just sit down and read them wherever I can. So usually it's in the living room. So one of my children, my youngest, has taken to reading with me a lot, and I love that. I love that she wants to do that. So she always brings her Bible in, and sometimes I'll let her read a few verses here and there. She's a pretty good reader, so like, I'll read it and then I'll say, hey, do you want to read verse 10 and 11? Or, you want to read verse 22 to 25. And that way it kind of keeps her engaged as well, that she's not just listening to me drone on. Well, when I read out loud, tend to read with a lot of inflection and intonation because it helps me focus, but also it can really help me kind of understand a little bit better, rather than just reading monotone. I try to read it with the way it was written so I can kind of get it better. So my kid has, bless her, my kid has started trying to, I guess, adopt some of that inflection and emphasis. But she's a child and a young one at that, and she can't do it very well yet. So really, all that happens is she's just like yell reading scripture. And let me just tell you, you just don't know life until you have had the book of Revelation yell read to you by an 8-year-old. Like, Revelation is quite a handful on its own, but man, when somebody's yelling it at you, it's real Apocalypse Now stuff. It tickled me so bad. I was just laughing the other day. She just started doing it, well, I guess maybe late last week. I just got so tickled the other day. I was just like, wow, okay, I get it. Thank you. But I love that she reads with me, though, so it doesn't bother me. And it helps her practice, too. So anyway, so there's a little funny, I guess, to bring up our spirits before we close the video. So, okay, guys. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful week. If you two are struggling with anything, go to the Lord in prayer. It's definitely what I'll be doing. I have been doing, even in just our family worship prayers. We've been praying for, that church member that's been ill and whatnot. So go to the Lord in prayer. Pray for me if you have the desire to do so. And just remember, in everything that you do, do it all to the glory of God. See you next time.